Hello YouTube fam, how y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, a channel where I rant and I review fam. I just got through watching 80's gold. 80's cartoons, man. Shit that was near and dear to my heart. I used to sit in front of the TV on a Saturday morning with a big ass bowl of cereal with a wooden spoon and just be eating the damn cereal, watching the cartoons, man. I don't give a damn how old I was, man. It was what it was. Man, I'm sitting here remembering the nostalgia factor of some of the gems that we had back in the day. Shit, even though it was a girl's cartoon, I watched Gem and the Holograms. That shit was amazing. It reminded me of some shit that we got today. Had artificial intelligence and stuff like that, man. We had Mask, the Inhumanoids, the Centurions, and I was just watching the Centurions the other day, man. We had Saber Riders, Galaxy Rangers, man, Voltron, Transor Z, G.I. Joe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Masters of the Universe, man. We had just everything, the Super Friends, X-Men and the Avengers and shit, you know, Thundercats, Silverhawks, Tiger Sharks, Transformers, man. I was just sitting here thinking about all the Zoids, man, with Van Fly Night. Used to watch that shit real. He had the organoids, man. It was real back then. But you know, that's what makes me feel good. Even though we had Gotcha Man from the 70s, man, which was Battle of the Planets. Casey Kasem as 7 Zark 7, man. You know what? Those were the days. Cartoons had plots. They had messages. You know, they told you not to get in a car with strangers. Don't use drugs and stuff like that, man. And it was just fun watching this stuff, man. Just watching the overall effect that everything had upon all of us, man. You know, growing up in that generation whereas, you know, you wanted to be these characters, man. Let's form Voltron. Form feet and legs, form arms and body, and I'll form the head. Man, now you sitting here thinking to yourself, I still remember when they made Serpentor, when they combed the tombs and got all the DNA. Back then, I didn't even know what the hell DNA was. You know, I was a little kid. I was like, what the hell is DNA? Man, when they made them, then I remember Sergeant Slaughter. Then I remember Cobra Commander in the G.I. Joe movie got turned into a damn snake, man. I was mad as hell. I actually liked Cobra Commander. To me, Cobra Commander is the true leader of Cobra, man. Then I love when they did the reboot, relaunch, when they brung him back and, you know, did something and made him a man when the Baroness was wearing the mask and he became like a snake man. I was like, and he put on his flight suit. I was like, man, we got Cobra Commander back. About time. Fam, that's what that's about. And you know, you remember the classic stuff from the Thundercats. Thundercats. Oh, then, you know, everybody get to screaming and, you know, you like, man, you and your friends running and shit. You don't remember the Thundercat mask? Y'all don't remember those? Remember the He-Man mask, man? We used to have those big-ass He-Man swords. I have the power. Man, look. My childhood, man, it just got me sitting here thinking. After school cartoons, who remember Bozo? You know, Bozo the Clown. You know how they used to had a bucket game and how you used to throw the ball into the buckets and you had to get all the way to the last bucket. If you do, you win a fantastic prize, man. I was like, man. And who remember this one? I was a little older when this one happened. Shusha. Shoo, man. Man, she was wearing low-cut outfits. It was nothing but men in the audience because men wanted to touch her and all that stuff. Man, it was wild, man. You know, shit that they can't play on TV today, man. I mean, man. What was his name? Jason the Wheel Riders. Remember that? Man, they were made of plants and stuff, and they had plant-like machines and all these vehicles. Jace and the Wheel Riders. They had Conan and the Young Warriors. They had Air Riders. Oh, man, it was just so many cartoons, man. Mummies Alive, Gargoyles, man, you could just keep on naming them. They just keep on falling out, man. I mean, just title after title, man. And each one of these had figures, man. And I was just thinking to myself, I said, man, you could just create action figures. Then, you know, as the time went on, as I got older, you got Dragon Ball Z, man. And that shit was a cut above the rest, man. Boy, they was just wild out there. Dragon Ball Z, boy. Kakarot, you know, Goku, he just turning Super Saiyan screaming. Ah! I remember we went Super Saiyan for the first time, man. Shit, it was something. It was amazing, man. See, this is what I like, man. When I get to looking at stuff, man, and you start paying attention. Man, classic games from back in the day. You had Operation, man. You can't even have Operation nowadays. You remember you used to take the little metal thing and stick it in there and it'd hit against the corner and go zzz. You know, nowadays it'd be deemed too dangerous for kids because they could get hurt. Remember cap guns with the little cap in them, you know, with the gunpowder cap, go pop, pop. And they make all that smell, man. Boy, we about pop, pop, pop. Man, that shit was just fun. But you want to know something? You want to know a place that sold a lot of this old school stuff like Zoids back in the early 2000s, like 2005, 6, 7, Family Dollar. They sold Zoids. They sold G.I. Joe. They sold those $2 G.I. Joes. They sold Transformers, Hot Wheel cars. They sold some of everything. You know, some of those Marvel figures. It was just amazing what Family Dollar sold, man. And I know you're like, he all over the place. But that's how your childhood was. You know, even though I wasn't a child when Family Dollar and all of that. But I was just amazed as I grew up and I seen that. And, you know, I was working there as a manager. I just started picking some of the shit up. You know, it's real, fam. A lot of people don't understand. It's amazing if you really try hard enough and you ain't even looking sometimes. You can just find shit, man. You know. Like I said, this hobby, you know, is just one of love. You know, we, Generation X, baby boomers, millennials, you know, even this generation, you know, that was before this one, I guess, or this one itself, you still have stuff that you are tied to. You know, even I'm tied to Powerpuff Girls, you know. Man, I love Scrooge McDuck and, you know, Disney. I love the first DuckTales. That was the shit. DuckTales. Woo! You know, back in the day with Lunchpack, McQuack, you had Darkwing Duck. You know, man, it was just something. Then the Simpsons hit on a different level, man, back in the day. You know, they had Radioactive Man and Bart Man and the Treehouses of Horror, man. That was the shit. You know, it just made you think about everything. And they had toys for all this stuff, man. Then Inuyasha, which was anime, man. That was an anime ahead of its time, man. The plots, the twists, you know, the art, you know, just the whole storyline and arcs. They were just amazing, man. Then the movies that went along with it. You know, you come to find out Inuyasha is half demon and the sword is his father's tooth. And when he say protect, the sword gets bigger. And he's able to protect me. I said, damn, all they got to do is think about protecting people. Man, this is what being this, you know, and these generations brung you, man. Just a whole lot of fun, man. You know, you just sit back and you look. You know, you remember back in the day, you remember all these crazy-ass rappers and songs. You remember Bone Thugs and Harmony? Boom, 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 boom. Now they tell me what you gonna do. And, you know, boom, boom. All this shit, man. You sitting here thinking to yourself, who in the hell? They sound like pirates, man. But you know what? That was the music of that time, man. You know, man. You know, to go back even further, you had Garfield, Popeye, you had Heathcliff. Man, Heathcliff, I used to watch that. That was the shit there. Heathcliff. Man, then you had just some of F. Tom and Jerry. These are just classics, man. You know, and Scooby-Doo, man. Scooby-Doo has been there for every generation. The 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. There's an iteration for Scooby-Doo for every generation, man. And I'm like, damn. I really enjoy Scooby-Doo. You know, I got the mystery machine around here somewhere. That's one thing that I love. I love how they made Scrappy do a bad guy because I really didn't like Scrappy that much. I'm like, what was the purpose of Scrappy or Goofy or whatever that guy was? That it was the Goofy Scooby Doo or whatever. Man, look, all of this lets you know that the damn childhood, they used to go outside and imagine that you were these characters and you would have fun and you would put capes on, you would jump in front of the fan and let the fan blow you like you flying and shit. Y'all outside throwing special effects, people throwing grass around you and like they throwing rocks up in the air like like you blowing up something, man. Dude, the imagination of a kid is a hell of a thing. Or like if you fly, somebody got like the water hose spraying behind you like you flying and shit. You like, damn, like if I could have took pictures of all this shit, pictures weren't that expensive back then, I probably would have took a ton of them. But man, it was amazing. It was fun. It was something that a lot of people today never will experience, man. Just that imagination, that overwhelming thing that really made you. It's a lot of cartoons that I didn't. You remember Godzilla, the cartoon? I'm not talking about the one from 2000. I'm talking about the one from the 80's, the green Godzilla, him and Zuki. Man, it was just crazy, man. Hanna-Barbera had some shit. Thundar the Barbarian, Ookla the Mop, Princess Ariel. They fighting the man with two faces, man. And I'm like, the opening of that was like one of the best things I ever seen. You remember the episode with the space vampire? Whereas this thing put you in a cocoon and, he sucked the life out. Man, I'm like, damn. This is what I'm talking about, man. I'm talking about things that actually count, man. And this is what I look at when I think of my childhood. When I look at some of these shows on YouTube, because you can find a lot of this stuff on YouTube, man, it just makes you feel some kind of way. Like I said, just some of the origins behind some of this, man. You remember that Lion-O had a crush on Shatara. Yeah, he thought he should have been with Shatara. But you know what? It didn't work out that way. The things that I don't understand, fam, is it's just crazy. It's a lot of people don't get some of the bigger pictures. The bigger pictures here is sometimes you just got to back up and remember all the shit that you have done, all the shit that's going to take place. How do you see your life going? Man, all you got to do sometimes is look back and see where you've been, man, because that energy, all of that will take you forth into the next generation and everything else, man. But till later, thank you so much for watching. Peace out.